This is TWiT.
Tech Break is brought to you by our friends at IT Pro TV, now called ACI Learning. With all the same fun of IT Pro TV, ACI is amplified with new solutions for all your IT training needs. Entertain your team while they learn. Visit go.acilearning.com/TWiT. TWiT listeners who complete the form can receive as much as 65% off an IT Pro Enterprise Solution Plan. You'll get the proper quote based on the size of your team. I think I would take a break here, but I think really we should get right to Scott Wilkinson. Don't you think? Our home theater geek, he is, of course, in the club, the Home Theater Geeks podcast. He is an expert on audio and video, AV systems. In fact, I hope you watched the most recent podcast because they had the shootout, which picked the best TV for 2024. So that's fun. But let's say hi to Scott.
There's Scott. Hello, Scott.
At his home in Santa Cruz, California.
And notice I'm wearing my UC
Santa Cruz.
Snails. Go banana slugs.
We have a family member who just started at UC Santa Cruz. Yeah.
Oh, yeah?
Sebastian's family member, yeah.
Oh,
yeah. Fantastic.
You know, my
Maybe
father was a
visit.
professor there for years and a provost.
Oh.
Yeah, in fact, when we moved to California when I was 15, we lived in what was College 5. It was Kresge. We lived in the married student housing at Kresge, which is one of the colleges. And and my sister and I had our own apartment.
Wow.
Yeah.
Fancy.
We were fancy.
That is so cool.
Anyway, hello, banana slugs.
Hey,
Mr. Tuba himself.
So everybody should listen to the last Home Theater Geeks, but just top line it. What is the best TV?
The best TV, the king of TVs, as they call it, is the Sony A95L, the QD-OLED, quantum dot OLED. And I'm not surprised. No one was surprised.
This was the second year in a row for the Sony, wasn't it?
Correct. Yeah. Correct. And it's its second generation. And, of course, it improved.
Nice. I have the Samsung QD-OLED, and I'm very happy with the brightness.
Also really, really good.
Yeah.
The only caveat on that one is that Samsung does not support Dolby Vision HDR.
Right.
So if that's important to you, it's something to think about. But in terms of performance, Samsung and Sony are very close. And they were very close in the shootout as well.
What happened to LG? They used to win every year with their OLEDs.
Well, and they now I have to look up the results, but certainly the LG OLED came in near the top as well. And it won every year until QD-OLED became available.
Yeah, that's
the new simply technology. A better technology. Yeah, I mean, it is better than OLED. And OLED's great. Don't get me wrong.
I still, OLED's we were watching good. I can't remember. We were watching something that was in 4K HDR. Of course, that's what you want. Mm-hmm. And I have to say, while we have the QD-OLED in the living room, the 77-inch Samsung, it still looks great to go in the bedroom and watch the LG.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
It's beautiful.
The QD-OLED is brighter.
That's the biggest difference. And that's why it's in the living room, right? It's
exactly. Yeah, exactly. Quantum dots can get really bright.
So that's not why we brought you here today. We brought you here today for your annual Black Friday roundup. Did you do the spreadsheet again?
I did a variation of it. It's a little too early to get the real Black Friday deals. Even though
it's not too far from
Black Friday has become Black November.
Right.
You know, so there are a lot of Black Friday sales starting now, but I didn't take the time to actually do the huge long spreadsheet. What I did do, and I sent to you, and I hope you can put this in the show notes, is my recommendations for the TV lines from each of the major manufacturers. And if you can find a really good Black Friday deal on any of these lines, then you're going to have a superb TV. The Black Friday deals, you know, they will lure you in with super cheap prices on super cheap TVs. But I always recommend that you spend a little more to get a level of performance that's going to be really, really good for years to come.
Often the Black Friday deals are last year's, or in this case, this year's model there.
Exactly.
Right?
Exactly. Yeah. Yes, because come January,
new ones are coming out
yes, you're going to see the 2024 models. Exactly.
Yeah. Although they won't be available till spring.
Correct.
So,
or later.
Yeah.
The Sony QD-OLED wasn't available until last month.
Oh, wow.
So the second generation, the new one, the A95L. So, sometimes they're kind of delayed, and I don't expect to see a huge discount in Black November for the A95L, this top of the line flagship Sony TV that's the king of TVs. But there are others within the Sony lineup, and Samsung and Hisense and LG, TCL and Vizio, and I listed those lines in my spreadsheet this year.
Yeah.
Which has some general notes about, the QD-OLEDs are the best TVs you can buy today, period. End of story. They just are.
So, I mean, probably the ones you've put in this spreadsheet, like we just talked about the QD-OLEDs, will not be majorly discounted this Black Friday.
Probably not. And yet, the LG OLEDs, many of them probably will be.
Yeah, and I think those, by the way, those are, to me, because I'm like watching that in a darkened room a little bit closer.
Fantastic.
Just as good.
Yeah.
I don't think the QD-OLED has advantages, but is the color accuracy as good on the LGs?
Yes.
The color is just as good. You're not seeing as huge a difference in the darks and the lights.
Correct.
That dynamic range is not quite.
Well, I wouldn't say that. I wouldn't necessarily say that. The regular OLED does have almost infinite contrast, as does the QD-OLED.
Okay. It's the number of nits for the very brightest stuff is higher on QD-OLED.
Correct.
And if you're in a darkened room, that could blind you. You don't need all those nits. So if you're able to darken the room, then the LGs would be just fine.
Just fine. Completely fine. Great, in fact. I would be thrilled.
Super happy with that. I feel spoiled now with a good OLED TV or the QD-OLED. I'm watching, sports looks better. Movies are gorgeous.
Oh, yeah.
Everything is just better. It's better than the theater, practically. I can't wait. I saw Oppenheimer on IMAX. I can't wait to see what it looks like at home on a really good screen. It won't be as big.
It won't be as big. It won't be as big.
That's okay.
And it won't shift aspect ratio. Do you remember that, or did you not notice?
There was a little bit of that. It always made sense in context because it happened when we went back in time.
Yes.
So in a way, it was a signal. Okay, this is present. This is present day. This is past. They also had black and white IMAX. They made a special film just for Christopher Nolan, so that he could shoot black and white because IMAX doesn't have a black and white film. And the black and white was gorgeous. I can't wait to see that on my OLED. Do OLEDs do well with black and white?
Oh, sure. Yeah.
Absolutely. I thought so because I was watching Casablanca the other night. And they've got a remastered version of Casablanca that's supposedly HDR. I guess it could be. And it
could be. It was shot on film originally. Right. You can scan that in HDR, sure.
And it looked so rich. When black and white is well shot, an Ansel Adams still or a beautiful film noir movie, it looks so good.
I agree.
Yep. The other thing Lisa and I noticed, we were watching Band of Brothers, which was shot on film. And then its sequel, Pacific, because the Air War is coming out, the third of the three. And Lisa and I noticed how much we like film, even on an OLED.
A lot of people feel the same way. A lot of people do. And there's very few people shooting on film anymore.
But Band of Brothers, which is hugely emotional, but it's also an action movie, right? But the emotion, I don't know why. Maybe because it's 24 frames or... it isn't 24 frames, I guess, because it's a TV.
Yeah, it can be.
Yeah, but it's
most TVs,
not a film. It's not a movie.
Good TVs can show 24 frames at 24 frames.
I don't think they were shooting it for HBO for television, so I doubt they shot it at 24 frames.
Well, but if they shot it on film, it probably was shot at 24.
Oh, maybe. Maybe there's a dreaminess or something that you get.
There is. There's some motion blur, for example, which,
and it somehow hits you harder in the heart.
This is very interesting that you say this, because you're not the only one.
Yeah.
A lot of people say that the quality of cinema, of shooting on film, some people call it a filmic effect, really is something. It has greater emotional impact, for example. I haven't seen that personally. I haven't experienced that personally, but I fully believe that you did experience it, and it's important.
Well, and it's interesting because you and I have had these conversations. I'm kind of aware of it, but Lisa completely independently said this was shot on film, wasn't it? And I said, yes, it was. And she said, I can really tell.
Interesting.
Yeah. And you see the grain. I mean, you could tell just
do
from
see
film
the grain.
but I don't think that's what she's talking about. She prefers it.
No.
And I think it's the emotion.
Yeah.
Hi, this is Benito.
Wow.
Hi, Benito.
I actually think it comes down to the filmmakers who choose to shoot on film.
Well, and this is Spielberg and Hanks, right? Nobody loves film more than Spielberg, right?
So it's the filmmakers who choose to shoot on film,
right,
that really make it that good.
Right. Yeah. Oh, absolutely. But I think even some older movies like Casablanca, because it's shot on film, that richness of the black and white.
Again, though, Casablanca is like a classic.
Yeah, and by a great filmmaker, right? So, yeah. Well, that's right, Benito. Right. I mean, I could shoot film and it wouldn't look great.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
Right, exactly. Well, so getting back to Black November, if you can afford an OLED and there's one on a good deal, I would say get it. If not, LCD TVs are still, generally speaking, less expensive than OLEDs. And so that's what this list really is that I sent you. It's a list of the LCD-based TVs that I consider the higher quality. And so, if you want to save a little more than an OLED, you could get one of these and you'd be very happy.
So if you're very price sensitive, do you think you can get a Black Friday deal like a $800 TV that's still very, very good?
Probably so. Wouldn't be very large. Again, one of these TVs in a 55 or 65 inch, you could probably in the Black Friday marketplace get it for $1,000 or less. Yeah.
The reason we don't, those numbers are basically not out yet, and you're not going to be on again for another month. By then, we'll be talking about Christmas
which is why
deals.
I wanted to do this now. Yeah, right.
So I don't know. Maybe we have to get you back closer to Black Friday.
Yeah, we could. I'd be happy to do that.
I guess that would be 2 weeks from now, right?
That would be 2 weeks from now.
All right. Well, we'll see.
Man.
Let's get a little
over 2 weeks from now.
I don't look, Scott. You're probably feeling some relief that you don't have to prepare that 80-page spreadsheet. Do you still?
Yeah.
That's a lot of work, I'm sure, compiling.
It's a lot of work, but people, I think people find it valuable.
Are you going to do it for this show, for your Home Theater Geeks?
I hadn't thought about that.
You know what? You're going to probably cover this on Home Theater Geeks.
Actually, yeah, probably so.
So let's just say that. This is a chance to promote the club. If you're not a member of the club, Home Theater Geeks, it's in Club TWiT. Is it Thursday, Scott? When do you do that?
Thursday. We post Thursdays at 4.
Okay.
We normally record 4 or 5 episodes at once.
Oh, so have you already recorded next?
I'm afraid I have recorded most of this month already.
Oh, okay.
So
never mind.
There are some great episodes coming up, though.
There are. Don't get me wrong.
Nice.
I've answered a couple of really good listener questions.
I love this conversation we have every time. And we often end up talking about quality and technology.
Exactly.
Yeah, I think it's good. Yeah.
Anyway, so there you go. It's if you're going to buy an LCD TV, check out this list. Those are the better ones. If you really are super price sensitive, go for whatever floats your boat. I generally recommend not going with the third tier TV brands like Element and Insignia and so on.
Those are kind of house brands, right?
They are, yeah. Best Buy or
But
Walmart,
the other low price leaders,
brands.
Hisense and TCL, the Chinese brands.
Those are both really good.
They're good. Yeah.
Really good. I can fully recommend them. Yes.
I recently moved my mom into assisted living, and she brought her TCL with her, and it was a very good choice because it could get the cable because they have cable TV as part, because it had Roku built in. She has a Roku remote, and so she doesn't need any extra boxes. She doesn't need any extra complications. It's all in one remote.
One remote.
Much simpler for her. And I upgraded to the high-end Roku remote, which has a headphone jack. So we've been doing all this stuff. Remember we talked about this so she could use wireless headphones and stuff. I realized, what am I talking about? She plugs her headphones into the remote. She sits far away from the TV. It works great.
Love that.
Yep. So it's a perfect solution for an elder.
I always thought that was a great idea. Headphone jack in
that
the remote.
idea that they had was just
brilliant.
Smart,
brilliant.
Really good.
So I got right on a lot of boxes, and she had an Apple TV and a cable box and all that stuff. It's so simple now. She plugs into the wall. The TV does have to be on the internet to get the television guide for the cable, unfortunately.
Right.
And of course it has to for the Roku too.
For the Roku, for the streaming, sure.
But other than that, it is the simplest possible way for her to watch. And she was just watching Band of Brothers. She watches all sorts of great stuff on a variety of networks, thanks to that. So that's the TCLs are very nice. There are others with Roku built in now, yes?
Yes, there are.
Okay.
I believe Hisense has some.
Okay.
TCL is the main one, though.
Yeah, I really like that. And of course, then there's the Amazon TV with a Fire built in. Have you played with that at all?
I have not.
Okay.
No. Amazon has their own branded TVs.
It's cheap. Yeah.
Yeah.
And it has a Fire TV built in.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, they really have subsidized the cost on those TVs.
Yeah.
Seriously. In that case, I believe there's 2 lines. I would recommend the higher line, which is still probably really cheap, because I believe it has the FALD FALD backlight, full array local dimming.
Yeah.
Very important for an LCD TV. Makes it a lot better.
Well, maybe we'll leave
what
that.
all these TVs that I recommend have.
We'll leave that as a topic for another day. But I bet you Amazon.
Okay, then.
I bring it up because I think Amazon will probably have a massive Black Friday
Massive
Prime Day sale on their Fire TVs.
No doubt.
They go as big as 55 inches. The 55-inch Fire TV's $269. What? You might as well just get one for every room.
Right.
Holy
you
cow.
might as well.
Holy cow.
Goes up to 55. What about, isn't there an Omni series? That might be the upper.
Yeah.
You want to go to the next one up? That's the 4 series. Well, here we go. Now we're talking expensive. It goes all the way up to 75 inches for
$9.99.
$8.99.
I thought.
There you go. $900.
And these are OLED. Oh, no, these are QLEDs.
These are QLEDs.
They get me every time with that little Q.
I know. That's marketing.
The difference between the tail.
Yes, exactly.
Scott Wilkinson. Follow him at Home Theater Geeks in our club. And, of course, every month right here on the show.
Thank you, Scott.
You betcha.
Thank you, Mr. Banana Slug.
Thank you, Mr. Banana Slug.
Goodbye, Mr. Tuba.
We'll get more of you.
Oh.
What?
This is my last chance
Tuba Christmas.
to mention Tuba Christmas.
Tuba
Thank
Christmas.
you so much for allowing me to do that.
Tuba Christmas.
December 3rd, Sunday, which means I can't be on this show on that first Sunday of December, so we'll have to work something out.
Okay.
Tuba Christmas in L.A.
Yay.
3 p.m. performance, free to the public. Come on out and bring the family, totally family-friendly. Christmas carols and Hanukkah songs played on 100 tubas.
So cool.
Scott, are you Santa? Because you look like Santa.
I do look like Santa, but no, we have a real beard tuba playing Santa.
Wow.
Is it streaming or is it only in person?
No, it's only in person.
You can't stream 100 tubas.
Well, you
gotta
did it before.
be there.
You did it in the driveway, didn't you?
Oh, that's right.
What's that?
They did it in
When
the
you did-
driveway.
We did do it in the
COVID.
driveway one year. Yes. Very good.
And will
Good memory,
Joanna?
Mikah.
Will Joanna be singing?
She will. She will be singing and leading the audience in song.
It's at Forest Lawn Cemetery.
Yes, it is. Forest Lawn Glendale this year. It's for the last 10 years. It's been at Forest Lawn Hollywood Hills, but the venue there, 1,200 seat, gorgeous auditorium, was almost destroyed in last winter's storm.
Whoa.
I mean, they're not going to be ready to open that place again till next year sometime.
Yikes.
So we moved to a different campus of the Forest Lawn Cemetery system.
Lawn, Glendale. Because the dead cannot be waked by tubas.
By tubas. That's right. That's right.
Well, we're
So
going
be
to try.
Sure to go to We're going to try. We always do our best every year. Be sure to go to tubachristmasla.com to find all the details and the map of how to get there and when and where and so on and so forth. I really would love to see people come out.
Everybody's got to go to that.
You haven't lived till you've heard 100 tubas play Jingle Bells. Come on.
Thank you, Scott. Have a wonderful Christmas.
Thank you,
I
guys.
guess we won't see you, but have a great Thanksgiving and a great Christmas. And everybody go out and see
Hanukkah
Tuba Christmas.
and everything.
And Hanukkah, too. Yeah,
All
actually,
that
Scott celebrates Hanukkah, yeah.
I do.
December 8th.
December 3rd.
3rd. Oh, man, I got to get my menorah going. Thank you, Scott.
Thank you.
December 3rd. Thanks, you guys. I really appreciate it.
Bye-bye.